Hello everyone, so welcome back again to another episode. Now, in our video series of heterocyclic compounds, we have talked a lot about different kind of molecules like pyrols, furans, and in our latest videos we have talked about the isoquinolines and quinolines. Now, in this episode, what we are going to do is we are going to talk about another synthesis method for isoquinolines. So this is isoquinoline synthesis method. It's called Pomerone Fristsch Synthesis. So I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing the words incorrectly. Most likely these are the names of scientists which whom the mechanism is being invented by, right? So I'll also put the link here to our playlist of heterocyclic compounds, so you can go through our playlist and see whether is there any kind of video that you might be interested in. If there is any, please be my guest, go and watch it. You can have some new knowledge for yourself. So let's move on to this episode and let's see by step how to arrive on our mechanism, how to understand this mechanism. So we are going to start. This is the overall reaction. This is the overall reaction of our mechanism. So we are going to start with this compound, and the imine formation happens here. This is the imine formation, and then the cyclization. So here we have the isoquinoline. So we are going to see the whole mechanism. Now, as for our first step, as I have told you, the imine formation happens. So we have a lone pair on our nitrogen. This lone pair will go and attack to our carbonyl carbon. So when this attack happens, these two hydrogens will be removed alongside with oxygen as a water molecule. So water molecule will be removed and two bonds will be formed between this carbon and the nitrogen. I'm not going to go in much details about this imine formation, because I think if you are on this far in heterocyclic chemistry, I'm pretty much sure you are familiar with imine formation. So in case you are not familiar with it, or maybe you forget about the mechanism of imine formation, I will put the link here for our imine formation video. We have discussed it much more in depth and more details, and it's a pretty much short video, right? So you can easily watch it and refresh your memory. For now, what you need to understand is, in imine formation, a new bond will be formed between the carbon and the nitrogen, and a water molecule will be removed, right? So double bond is being formed between the carbon and nitrogen. That's the thing you need to understand. And also I have to tell you that imine formation is very important. You need to know about the mechanism. You need to understand the mechanism of imine formation. That's a very important thing. So we have the compound right now. Here we have the compound like this. As for our next step, what happens is, the oxygen has lone pairs. So we have a water molecules alongside in our medium. So this lone pair will go and attack to one of the hydrogens, and the hydrogen is being attached to our oxygen. So when that happens, oxygen will gain a positive charge, right? So actually this is coming from ET. Okay, like this. Okay, so here we are using the ethanol. From the ethanol we have the hydrogen for this place. Now we have the oxygen atom as a positive charge. Okay, so let me write this as we are using H plus in ethanol medium. These are the conditions, right? These are the medium conditions. So we can easily have the hydrogen to our oxygen. Now then, as for our next step, what happens is, as you can see now, we have formed a positive charge on our oxygen. We have a lone pair on this oxygen as well. So this oxygen's lone pair will come back to this particular bond between the carbon and oxygen to form a double bond. When that happens, right? When that happens, this one will be break. Now you may think like why won't this happens? Why won't this breakage, right, happens earlier? In this case, the oxygen is being bonded to ethylene part. This bond is relatively stable compared to here. In here you can see the oxygen is gained a positive charge, so oxygen is getting destabilized, right? It has a positive charge. So when it comes to this bond, the electron density inside this bond is much more attracted to oxygen. So the bond is now favored for the oxygen, right? The electron density is much more moving towards the oxygen. So when this lone pair comes to form a double bond, this particular single bond is much more weaker and it can easily be broken. But in this case, you can see the oxygen is in positive charge, it's in neutral form. So this electron density is not that much moving towards oxygen. It's on the middle ground, right? The bond is very much stable. So in this case, if this happens, this bond will be not that much easy to be broken. So this reaction won't be happen in these conditions. That's why the formation of a positive charge on this particular oxygen is very much important. So these are the very key features in this mechanism that you need to understand. Okay, so I will erase this one. Good. So I hope you understand right now. Then what happens is we have our compound like this. As you can see here, a double bond is being formed, right? This part over here, it will be removed and we have our compound like this. Then there are hydrogens, right? There are hydrogens in here. So this hydrogen will be removed as a proton, and the the electron density in between the carbon and hydrogen will be contributed to this bond to form a double bond. When that happens, one of the bonds will be broken and it will move towards oxygen to regain its neutrality. Now we have our compound like this. As you can see, a newly formed double bond is in this particular place. Now the cyclization happens. So this bond over here, it will come and attack to this carbon, right? This carbon. When that happens, this lone pair over here, it will move towards this position, right? When that happens, when this double bond move towards this position, this nitrogen is getting destabilized, so this bond has to move towards here. So we will have our compound like this. As you can see, a new bond is being formed between this and this carbons. Here, this one and this carbons. This carbon over here, it's been directly attached to oxygen. As you can see here, this carbon is directly attached to oxygen. So here the cyclization happens. Okay, now as for our next step, right? There are protonated ethanol compounds around our medium. So this oxygen will again attack to one of the hydrogens. So we will have the protonated form of oxygen again. Now the similar thing happens, just like in our previous case, like here. Okay. Now there is a hydrogen atom over this place. So this bond will come over here to form a double bond, and this one shifts over here. This one shifts over here. When this shifts, you can see the bond between the oxygen and carbon is already being weakened. So this bond will be broken. Now we will have our isoquinoline. So this particular mechanism is not that much complex. There are few key points that you need to understand, especially this protonation part, right? There are two protonation parts at first here. Okay, this is also positive, right? So this protonation is very important, right? If you do this breakage, right, as you can see here the breakage happens. If you draw this breakage without doing the protonation, the mechanism is completely wrong. So you have to initiate the protonation and make the oxygen positively charged in order to remove the whole part as a good leaving group. Otherwise, if this is not positively charged, the leaving group is not stable, so the reaction won't be feasible when it comes to those conditions. So that's very important. And the mechanism, other than that, the mechanism isn't that hard. I think it's pretty much easy to understand. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment below. I'll try my best to answer those questions, and I highly recommend you to try this mechanism on your own for a few times, maybe 4 times or 5 times. After that, I'm pretty much sure you will be confident enough to do this on your own. And always don't try to memorize the mechanism, try to understand it, because in your exams these compounds may not be the exact compounds you have, right? There can be other groups attached to your aromatic ring, maybe some other compounds, but the theory or otherwise the concept is the same. The mechanism would be the same. Only thing you need to understand is the each step, what happens, how it happens, and why it happens. That's all matters. So all the best for exams. So if you have any questions, again ask them down in our video. I will try my best to answer those questions, and we will meet in our next video. Thank you.